Good morning, I'm Mabel Jong, and you're watching the World Healthcare Congress Interview Zone. And I have with me this morning Heather Coughlin. She's CEO of ISIS Parenting. Hi there, Heather. How are you?
Good morning. Nice to be here.
Well, tell me more about ISIS Parenting.
Well, ISIS is a pretty unique concept. We're 10 years old. We started really with a founding partnership with Brigham and Women's Hospital, but we partner directly with hospitals to basically augment and extend their prenatal and early parenting education, support, and services. So everything from traditional childbirth to lactation, breastfeeding support, and importantly that postpartum support and new moms classes and groups that a hospital really can't do and doesn't do well typically, but it's a real gap in that continuum of care.
Okay. Now, here at the Congress, you were on a panel that had a baby initiative focus.
Yes.
Tell me about that.
Well, Baby Friendly is a national initiative, and we invited the NIHCQ to participate with us, as well as Georgetown Hospital, who is Baby Friendly, so they've achieved this status. But the purpose was to raise awareness and to help hospitals that are in the audience or directors of women's health think through how do they get through this 10-step process, what is the purpose, and ultimately the purpose is to create an environment inside that care ecosystem, from the nurse to the OB to anyone who's touching that patient, that supports her in leaving with an arc of breastfeeding goals. So it's a national initiative, but only 5% of hospitals have achieved it. So this was, our point was to raise awareness.
Okay. When I had my family quite a number of years, over 15 years ago, I felt like I had a very positive and supportive experience. But did you find that there were some hospitals that were not providing the kind of support that new moms really needed?
Well, I think it's a given in the topics here. The healthcare system has changed, and there's a lot of cost pressure on that system. People are having to pick lanes on what is core. Typically the education, prenatally and postpartum, if it exists in a small format with limited choice and is a subset of what the hospital really does. So yes, I think we find that most hospitals, if they could partner to do more and do it better, would, and I think we've heard a theme of non-traditional partnership here at this conference, which really resonates well for ISIS.
Okay, and what were you finding that was missing in some instances?
The average new parent comes into that hospital with some probably outdated childbirth education experience that was done in a conference room or a cafeteria. They come into the experience, they're there for what is now a pretty brief LOS, length of stay. She may have one interaction with a lactation consultant when she's there, her milk's not even in yet. Out she goes, is the car seat there? Great, check. Good luck to you. And there's no connectivity after that point until, frankly, a well baby visit, when it's about the baby and not her. And then her visit with the OB isn't for another 6 weeks. So we are really filling a gap when she leaves that hospital setting to go immediately into a Great Beginnings group at ISIS with 10 moms, an expert instructor, 8 weeks, one-on-one lactation support. This is a part of the ACA. Commercial plans actually need to reimburse for lactation and education. Okay, and are you finding that your work, since ISIS was started 10 years ago, is really impactful, has made a real difference in the lives of mothers and their children? Yes, I mean, we've served over 50,000 families in Boston. We're excited to be expanding into Atlanta and Dallas next month with 9 locations coming. So we'll have 13 locations here very soon. And I think the testament is in not only on the hospital side for them saying they've seen their Press-Ganey scores move and in patient satisfaction, but most importantly, we're talking about consumer engagement at this conference. Consumers love our brand. They feel so grateful. They will run miles for us because we have truly changed their life. And those early months, they can be tough, and so we've created the village for them. So yeah. Right.
I mean, you have a retail component to your work. So what can others learn from that?
So I think we're in some ways ahead of the curve. That doesn't mean it was easy to be ahead of the curve, but we've heard themes here on the retailing of healthcare. The ISIS format is classroom, consult room, and product. It is an all-inclusive concept. It's 6,000 square feet. There's a place for community. There's a place for the village to be built. And when you walk into our centers that are open 9 to 9, you feel it. It is, I like to think of Howard Schultz's Starbucks. You have work, home, and Starbucks. It's a third place. If you have children under the age of 3 in our markets, ISIS is that place for you. So I think everything that we heard from Whole Foods to Blue Cross to whomever, everyone's trying to create that place. We actually have it. Now we just need to grow it.
And how does it work at the retail locations if people wanted to use ISIS as a community meeting place?
We do that too. We work with some of our partners to allow them use of our space. We certainly, from our space, launch our Great Beginnings group becomes a group in and of itself, and part of the curriculum is that they need to meet between classes and interact. Just getting out of the house is actually emotional wellness and can help with postpartum depression, which is another topic that we don't talk a lot about as a society, but it's very important at ISIS.
Okay. Well, we certainly have learned a lot about ISIS. Is there anything I've missed?
I think, more than anything, if I can leave folks with, we heard here about brands and consumer engagement. We're really a movement. And I think that, we're excited to take it to the rest of the country.
All right, Heather.
Thanks so
we'll
much.
be watching. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. And I'm Mabel Jung. Thanks so much for joining us.